Game Changers here on RTV. It is a very special occasion because we are in perhaps the most wonderful place that I have ever been, and we are surrounded by green and eco-friendly nature, and here we are with Mr. Aelian Gunawardene, who has been a champion from day one, and we're just going to talk with him and find out what makes Aelian tick. Is it A to Z? Is it 1, 2, 3? We just want to find out from the man himself how he is, how things have become, and how he has become now a leading entrepreneur in Sri Lanka, and just won the award as well. Fabulous stories. Aelian, thank you very much for spending time with us. I know this is your comfortable space. Tell us a little bit about you starting up early on at school and all those little thoughts that you had. Did you ever dream that you would be right here?
Thank you again, Shan, for dropping in at home. Such a pleasure to have you and the crew over. Like you said, I mean, it's one of my most comfortable spaces, so I'll prefer to meet here. But yeah, in college, of course, you know, we had very humble beginnings. You know, my mom was a single parent because we lost our dad when I was only 6 years old, and it was a tough life. The one thing my dad had insisted was that the boys went to St. Thomas's. So
that was a good start.
Yeah, he'd made the right choice. He'd made the right choice in the school, but obviously it was much more expensive than most of the other schools that Mom could have put us into. So it was seriously a tough childhood. I remember, you know, at 12 years old, I knew my mom had finished her quota of whatever money she had from a bit of insurance cash that Dad had left behind. By about the 15th of the month, we used to have this whole bunch of rampe at the backyard. Cut those, put it on my bicycle, take it to the Devala market, sell it there, and you know, manage the rest of the month. You know, I believe that's where I started, you know, believing in myself and being an entrepreneur. Maybe that was the start, you know. Whereas and even little things, I always tell my staff, when I used to sweep my garden, you know, I used to sweep it to a design, you know, and so much so that Tiro, my brother, and all that couldn't walk on the sand after that.
You didn't
let them walk after that, you know. So it was just attention to detail even from that age, and of course from there the sport at St. Thomas's, from playing rugby and basketball and athletics. You know, it was a full sort of background that we had, all around sort of background that we got from St. Thomas's that has helped us no end. Sometimes I wonder whether when I left college at 18 that I was a bit more cocky than I am now. You know, you know, the kind of way the college put us through today, we're a lot more humble and understand that, you know, what we have is from above, and certainly not. I couldn't achieve what I have achieved today if not for God's blessings in my life, Shan.
Discipline, of course.
Yes.
Hard work.
A
lot of sacrifice.
Yes.
Mother was obviously an Amazon. I mean,
yes.
To be able to do all that,
yeah.
raise 5 kids,
yeah.
and fight every day.
Yes.
Because it is. I mean,
yes.
it's one of those things that you have seen firsthand.
Yeah.
But there was belief
yes.
right from day one. And that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. She actually gave us a lot of confidence. She taught us what is right and wrong. She of course trusted us a lot. I remember we could come home at 11 in the night after going to college, and she wouldn't even ask us where we were. But none of us you know, got into any bad habits. We couldn't seriously afford to get into any bad habits, and that was.
You thought about it.
yeah, I probably did. Yeah, we had a great group of friends at college who were fantastic, you know, and we're still friends, and we progressed from there to do some. My first job was as a PA to the chairman of Yala Group, you know, which is at 18. Did my studies. Subsequent to starting work, and
so right at the deep end.
Right at the deep end, yes.
So all of that start at St. Thomas's, Mummy and the 5 boys, having to work hard for what you had, was a good start.
Yes.
And you believe, and as I believe as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, at the end, here we are now. We're talking about awards and
yes.
taking the country forward.
Yes.
That's where it all started.
Correct.
So that was that firm platform
base, yeah.
and base.
Yes.
But you believe in school and you believe in that
Yeah.
platform
Yes.
as a very important part
Yeah.
of your start.
Yeah, that's certainly true. In fact, if you Google St. Thomas's College today on Google Maps, there's one brand that stands out on the dressing room roof there, or the indoor cricket.
Should I ask?
Yeah, and that would be Jet, of course, because I have no doubt supported college, with cricket, with basketball, and so on. I continuously look at giving back to college, because it has, even though my kids are 28 and 26 now, the youngest is 11, but she's not in Sri Lanka anymore. So it's been something that I promote, that people do, is to cherish those years they had in college, and of course always try to give back to college, because that's where our base was from. Yeah.
Not to forget.
Yeah.
True. Growing up at St. Thomas's and graduating, like you said, and then of course looking beyond that,
Yeah.
As a PA start, your belief is Aelian Gunawardene, your sport. The LMD quotes you as being a sporty background
Yeah.
in their list of top 10.
Yes.
The discipline, the sacrifice, the hard work,
Yeah.
rugby, cricket, athletics, basketball,
Yeah.
captaining,
Yeah.
all of those things. Did you feel that at the time? Did you have thoughts what was the future for you, or were you just interested in the sport, or did you always have an inclination to business?
Like I said, maybe doing a bit of business at 12 had something to do with it, but I didn't necessarily at 18, when I left school, want to be an entrepreneur at that age. I wanted to just start working somewhere and get some money across to mom, as much as I could. My whole salary, I think, went to, I might have kept 500 rupees to myself or whatever, and finish my studies. That was
the first salary.
The first salary, yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, the first salary I believe was 1,500 rupees, and I might have given 1,000 and kept a 500, but it was such a great feeling to have some of your own cash in your hand, and she was thrilled, and naturally for us, and all the kids thankfully grew up to be decent people and have decent lives. So that's a great achievement for her and for all of us as siblings.
Well, she's raised you as a very strong individual.
Yes.
Strong in belief,
Yeah.
strong in strength as
Yeah.
well. Not just people talk about strength.
Yeah.
I believe you have inherent strength,
Yeah.
and your belief in God
Yes.
and beyond.
Yeah.
That all comes from home.
Yes, certainly. That the beginning there is certainly home, and it's something that even today with the kids we keep taking them. Even at 26, my son who lives with me, thankfully he has his girlfriend who also has a lot of belief, and we go for mass and inculcate those sort of beliefs in these children, which is very important. To understand there is a higher power, and we can always depend on any decision we make that will be backed up.
True. For you, of course, being a Sri Lankan, and we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
A very proud Sri Lankan, from your sporting background,
Sure.
strength at home, and now as a huge
Yeah.
conglomerate in Sri Lanka. Where does Aelian go when he's for his quiet time? What does Aelian do when he feels he needs to get away?
Yeah.
Where is that?
Being a Sri Lankan also, like you said, through the war was real tough for most businesses, but we fought through that, and we're at this position of having built a conglomerate with about 700 employees. We're in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka, of course. But during my holidays, one of my favorite places, other than of course chilling out at home, and I always believe since we moved here about 6 years ago, because we're just on the water, we don't see another house around the area, we don't hear a horn,
Well, I was going to say you would lose yourself here.
Yes.
And not quite know where you are. You could be anywhere in the world.
It's fantastic actually. So chilling out at home is something that we really look forward to. So at least one day of the week, Sean, we try our best not to get into the car, you know, and that's something we try to do, and we've managed to achieve that most often. But if you do travel abroad, some of my kids live in Perth, so we have a couple of homes there again on the water, which is really, really fantastic, beautiful places. Go out there and chill out, or Italy is other haunt that we try to do at least twice a year. Do a bit of Tuscany and chill out there as well.
Beautiful parts of the world.
Yeah, beautiful.
But Sri Lanka is home in every sense of the word.
Of course, yeah.
And of course, you invested very big in Sri Lanka
Yes.
as well. Step one, step two, belief, getting stronger, growing as a company, employing so many people. Now you started up. How many people did you start with?
It was just me for the start, and then we had about 2-3 people for the first maybe year. I remember even in the first, by about the 10th year, we might have had 12 people, you know.
Okay.
And we used to stop work at 4 o'clock, play a bit of cricket at the backyard. You know, that's how simple life was back then. But extremely, diligent as far as work was concerned. And we used to every furniture manufacturer in this country, Sean, was my customer. So I started the business at 26 to introduce wood finishes or lacquers for wood from Italy to the furniture industry, and every customer, every furniture manufacturer, I'm proud to say, at the mid or higher end was our customer.
So networking was very important.
Yeah, very important. A lot of hard work, naturally, going and visiting each and every one of them.
A lot of legwork.
Yeah, and that has really paid off. I remember when I started this business, and when I got the idea of representing this Italian company, I actually took it to my then chairman at Delmage Paints. I was the marketing manager there at 26, and I took it to him and I said, you know, this might be a good opportunity because there's a real demand in the market for a high-end wood finish. And the board, you know, took time over making this decision, almost 8 months.
As boards do.
Yes, most boards do. Not ours now, but then, you know, those companies were over 100 years old, very, very lethargic in their approach of making decisions. So, you can see the seaplane.
You'll have to have a little
then we spoke to the Italians, and we all agreed that at the end of the day I would be selling the product, so let's go ahead and bring it ourselves. They sent me 2 containers at that time on consignment basis to sell and then pay. Last year, 2016, we became their biggest distributor in the world.
Wow.
So Russia was the biggest distributor till 2015. 2016, Jet Holdings became their biggest distributor in the world. So it's a fantastic journey.
You need a little poster and a plaque about that one. You know, Russia was number one.
Yeah.
Now we are.
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, it just shows the strength and commitment and sacrifice and the hard work side of things.
Yeah.
But it is all about hard work, though. It really is about innovation. You are a firm believer in innovation.
Yeah.
You believe that that's the way forward.
Yeah.
But the hard work element, you can't really be shy about that hard work.
No, you can't shy about it. You know, again, I go back to some parts of the Bible when God says, you know, you can rest and believe in His promise, and He'll provide. But I firmly believe that while we believe in that, you know, you have to put in the effort. You got to make the decision to do something. You know, so many opportunities are brought to my table every week. At least 3 opportunities come to me every week. So you got to first decide which one you should take. If you're taking any one of them, evaluate the risk, obviously, the investment that goes into it, and then either buy the company over or start this new venture. So if you just sit back and relax, you know, I mean, you know, while He's looked after us and He has provided for us for a few generations to come, but you know, it's always great to use what he's given to progress further and to make the lives of other people also quite nice.
True. I mean, I am a firm believer in that, and I always say, do not look upstairs and ask.
Yes.
You have been given at the start.
Yes.
It's what you do with it.
Correct.
And how you take it forward.
Correct.
Because you have proved the story very clearly.
Yes.
Going forward, of course, is a very important
Yeah.
aspect for Jet Holdings.
Yes.
And now that you expand,
Yeah.
you're now looking at diversifying very
Yes.
seriously. You were telling me about thinking about going public, but not in Sri Lanka. That is a huge step.
Yes, the unfortunate thing about the Sri Lankan stock exchange is it has not been stable for a while, and even the hierarchy within the stock exchange would tell you, maybe not to look at Sri Lanka.
To think about it.
Yeah. So we've been ready to go public for the last 3 years. Today I control 80% of JET. Some of my shareholders are Dr. Sivasalaya, who has 5%, who is arguably the most, decent kind of human being I've met. He's such a lovely person. His corporate governance has been fantastic. We do up Shana annual report every year. That's our annual report of last year. In fact, we won at the Chartered Institute Accountants celebration that happened about 10 days ago. We won the bronze medal for our annual report. Being a private company, we don't need to do this. We have a A+ stable rating with Moody's ICRA, which I believe no private company in the country has it. So the corporate governance has been a big part of how we've run the company. We have 4 independent directors and only 2 of the family. So that's how open we are when we come to how trusting we are. So Dr. Saleh has 5%, the Akbar's group, Hussein is on the board, so Aski and them have 5%. IFC, the World Bank, the Dutch fund, German fund, and NDB and a company called Zephyr together have a thing called the Emerald Fund, which is based in the US. They have 5%. So when these companies like that put money behind a company in Sri Lanka, it's because there is so much of governance, so much of trust governance. That's the only reason they would come and put money into a company like us. So we've been ready to go public for 3-4 years if we needed to, but the plan now is to look at Singapore and Hong Kong. We've already looked at it. We've got offers. The chairman of the Singapore Stock Exchange has visited us at least twice, and is inviting us to come there while Hong Kong is also promoting their exchange. So, if we want to also have some connection with China, Hong Kong, we believe, might be the way to go.
The way forward, yeah. True. Well, on that note, we're going to take a very little break.
Yeah.
We'll come back and talk more with Mr. Aelian Gunawardene, Managing Director of Jet Holdings, in his very personal space, which is the most eco-friendly space that I have ever seen. Wonderful. Welcome back to Game Changers. Here we are with Mr. Aelian Gunawardene, Managing Director of Jet Holdings in Sri Lanka, and of course looking at the wide world beyond. It's all about belief, it's all about inspiration, it's all about strength and where you come from, really. You was talking about St. Thomas's and his initial start and how grateful he is, and how the roof at St. Thomas's, you can notice on Google Maps that Jet Holdings holds its place. That's part of history. But having said all that, growing up in a very strong one-parent family, a mother who didn't let them rest, to push them to the max, it all adds up, and I firmly believe that it does add up. And we'll just ask Mr. Gunawardene, what inspires you from all of this? all of these hard starts, it all comes down to something. As an 18-year-old, you went off and worked hard.
Yeah.
As a 12-year-old, you're on your bicycle with the rampe. It all comes down to what you believe in yourself and what inspires you. What does inspire you?
Actually, Shan, I personally believe that there's so much some of us as Sri Lankans can offer, and there is no place that I believe or no deal that is too big, because what I have or I believe in has helped me to achieve whatever I want to achieve in life. There's nothing that I put my mind to that I've not been able to crack.
So you're not intimidated by larger, bigger deals?
Nothing. In fact, I'll just share a short story with you. Joyce and I traveled to the Masai Mara a couple of years ago, and when we were traveling there, we stayed at Richard Branson's villas. He has 12 chalets there called the Mahali Mazuri, and he had opened it 1 year ago. Never visited the place since. So Joyce was joking about having sent him an email and asked him to drop in as well. So we stopped over on the first day. There were 2 other English couples, and that was it. 12 villas, beautifully designed. I mean, excellent, stunning location.
Special part of the world.
Yeah, special part of the world. Really, really well laid out and all that. And the next day, the general manager of the hotel tells us that the boss is due to fly in the day after. So we were there for 6 days, and we had the opportunity and the pleasure of spending 4 days and nights with Richard and his wife, and just Joyce and I, because the other 2 English couples had to take off. So it was 4 days of just sitting over lunch and dinner and going on game drives and safari drives and all that, and sharing pictures with each other and chatting about business and what inspired both of us to start.
And how you started.
Yeah, how I started, how he started, and his belief in the human resource that he has, and my belief in my team, and even started talking about politics in Sri Lanka and how we can help with the ex-president of the Maldives who was in house arrest, and so then between him and Amal Clooney and I, we managed to get some work done there too. So God puts you in different places and puts you in amongst some influential people in the world.
An opportunity, of
yeah,
course.
the opportunity is there, and since then, when the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka wanted to talk to Richard, I am the one who actually made the call for him.
Wow.
And he, there's whenever we want to communicate, we do, and we've not still set on a business. We're thinking of doing something together. We've not put a date to it yet, but he's an awesome guy. He's just a simple bloke who would be in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, and just the fact that the first day he was there, I just walked up to him and introduced myself, and since then, we've been friends.
That's pretty much the nature of the man himself.
Yes.
And of course yourself as well. I mean, you keep it simple, you keep it humble, you work hard, and you believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Richard, he's grown a business from very much little. I mean, he's from a little dot in on the ocean, and suddenly here we are.
Yeah,
as much as you have done here.
Thank you. So what inspires us also is the fact that the market is large. Somebody's got to utilize the opportunities that are out there in an ethical manner, and we know that we are in a position today to utilize our team, our strengths, our finances in a manner to one thing, develop our own business, and also to give back to the community. So I believe I'm the only other private company or only private company in Sri Lanka that puts money behind Sri Lankan sport. We back cricket, we back rugby, we back tennis, and we back golf. So the Sri Lanka Golf Open, the Sri Lanka the Premier Tennis Series. With rugby, we do two two rugby teams in Sri Lanka, CHNFC and CRNFC, and we sponsored the Sevens tournament that was held recently. With cricket, the last Sri Lanka-Australia series that was held was the Jet series, and we won it 3-0.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Tilanga always says, Aelian, you're my lucky sponsor. Why don't you do another series? Because, we'll win that as well.
Well, they were talking to you very quickly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, your belief in Sri Lanka sport comes from your initial start.
Yes.
And your multi-sport talents as well. I mean, you played basketball, you captain basketball, you captain rugby.
Yeah.
And sevens now is such a huge sport. It's an Olympic sport as well. And Sri Lankans need Sri Lankans to believe in that facility and invest in Sri Lankans.
It's such a shame, Shan. If you look at the larger companies today, hardly put any money behind sport. The public coded companies Sri Lanka has don't put too much money, other than of course employing a few sportsmen, which is also a great thing, that they employ them and give them the opportunity to go and train and all. That's fantastic too. But somebody's got to say, for example, with athletics, and you know this very well. None of our 100-meter runners have a artificial track to run on and train on. So that's seriously a bad position to be in. And if we can actually get our act together, we certainly have the talent in this country to better ourselves in different sports and not only cricket.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in the Sri Lankan talent base. I mean, like you said, when we started, it was that initial burst of talent that came from within.
Yes.
No one ever taught us the running side of things or the skill side of things. Subsequently, we went coaching and all that stuff. But it's the same story now.
Yes.
And as to why Sri Lankans aren't investing in Sri Lanka, because they're living off the same economy.
Yes.
But they need to take this forward. I mean, for years, I think we just went to tournaments for the sake of going to tournaments.
Yes.
And cricket changed that with that 96 World Cup win.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm hoping, like people like yourself, who have a firm belief,
yes,
can change that and take it to the next dimension. Because we need. I mean, we match India. We can match India. We can match.
Absolutely.
We can be Asia number one on certain levels.
Absolutely. Yeah. So just across the water here, you'll see this other 5-acre plot that I just leased out from the UDA, and we are putting up a beautiful driving range, indoor tennis, indoor badminton, indoor basketball to a professional standard. There is not one court today that you can actually go and play a good game of basketball in a air-conditioned environment.
True.
That makes you comfortable and can give out as your best. So sport is a big part of my belief and the company's ethic now as well. Our in-house cricket teams and basketball teams are doing quite well too, even though we use only in-house players. So we believe in team spirit and promoting sport amongst the whole team. Our office has a gym. We have table tennis within it.
I was going to say, my next question was, how much do you believe in wellness, and how much do you Jet themselves invest in?
We invest a lot. I have this sort of quirky competition that I run every year. It's called the Biggest Loser. So the guy who loses the most body mass gets ₹1 million every year.
Goodness.
Yeah, he does.
You have to apply for a job.
Yeah, man. so it is really a cool environment to grow up in. I myself I'm very conscious about working out. I have a beautiful gym in the house here, and we work out a lot. The kids work out a lot. So it's very, very important that we are able to have that wellness kind of concept even in office, and that has promoted our people to be sharper than our competition.
Very good. I mean, it's a wonderful principle, but it's not just a philosophy. You actually live it.
Yes.
Health and wellness, corporate governance, diligence, the thinking, the innovation, all part of the same story, isn't it?
Sure, certainly, all part of the same story. So you got to, like you said, you got to not only preach it, you got to live it. I mean, when some of my principals come down, you might have seen my basketball court at home. It's just fantastic, and I play play at least twice a week. I still believe in winning. Don't let any of my guests who come and play me, beat me. So it's a good place to do that. You got to keep fit, and it's real good fun, Shan, when you have your principals coming down. While you enjoy a nice bottle of wine and some dinner and all that, you play some sport with them. Yeah. And it just puts your relationship to another level,
It gives it a good start, actually, because it's completely different.
Yeah.
Takes it out of a boardroom atmosphere.
Correct.
And it's just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself and just see what you're made of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All of these combined, in one way, it is what you have always believed in.
Yes.
But has there been pressure on Aelian Gunawardene along the way where you had to rethink policy?
Yeah.
Re-strategize and maybe change direction?
Yeah.
Has there ever been a situation where you thought, no, I can't do this?
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, there have been certain businesses I started that I closed up, not the major parts of business. Over the years we've diversified from paint to furniture. So we do Herman Miller furniture, the best office seating in the world. All the brands we do are brands that I believe in, that I want to use myself.
So you would have it in your own home?
Yes. Every employee at JET uses a Herman Miller. Every employee.
Well, that's a luxury.
So, yeah, man. And you can imagine, Shan, that it's something. If you don't believe in it, how would you sell it, right? And that's the reason that I sell these brands. Our wood finishers. Obviously, each of our locations have them. So paints, we do Crown and Permaglaze and really top brands. Armstrong ceilings, from the States.
So it's very much a lifestyle thing, though, isn't it?
Lifestyle, construction-related. Kitchens from Bolformat, CR Bolformat in Germany. That's an industry I just started a few months ago, 6 months ago. And the next 4 projects that were given out, from the time I started, we won. From Altea, 414 kitchens to Tata, 800 kitchens to ICT to the Luna Towers, 212. It's crazy. How if you sell a good product, you back it up with service. And today, my customers don't want our international principles warranties anymore. They say if the JET's warranty is there, that's good enough. We've been in the business for 24 years, so that alone speaks a lot, So that period that we spent through the war to build a brand has really stood us in good stead.
Thinking during that time, a lot of Sri Lankans, entrepreneurs, businesses looked at leaving Sri Lanka. The island became a quieter place in one sense.
Correct.
And the corporate future was a big question mark. Yeah. But you stayed.
Yes.
You thought about it. Yeah. You looked at it. If anything, you established yourself and
More.
believed in staying here.
Yeah. Of course, I think that was easily the best decision I made, because there are 2 things when there is a war. Your competition is not that great, because nobody from a European market wants to come to a country like ours, like Pakistan today. It's an ideal place to be, because no European, no Indian can go in there, whereas we can.
The opportunity is there.
And the opportunity is there. The markets are great. There is naturally, with markets like that, like we had during the war, there were risks that were associated with it. But if you trust in yourself and trust in the Lord, there is no reason that you can't triumph through those sort of challenges. And that has really stood us in good stead. We building the brand over those years has made us number 1 in the fields that we are in.
Because you've got to jump on everybody else.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The risk factor is something that we should talk about.
Yeah.
But right now we're just going to take a break on Game Changers. We're chatting with Aelian Gunawardene in his own personal space. It is so eco-friendly, I have lost my own balance now. But it is grand to be with you. Welcome back to Game Changers. Here we are at the wonderful Aelian Gunawardene residence. We managed to get him sat down for a short time, pulled him off his busy schedule, and here he is now talking to us about his start and everything else in life, about good things, about a few things that he had to decide under pressure, early beginnings at St. Thomas's, growing up with a single parent. But all of those combined, here he is now, the leading entrepreneur in Sri Lanka, and what a wonderful way to start 2018, Aelian.
Yes, it is.
Great award.
I mean, fantastic. That just the last couple of months, from being recognized as one of the top 20 LMD business leaders of the country, to last Monday winning the Entrepreneur of the Year Platinum Award, extra large category, is really humbling and has given us a lot of honor and pride. That's another story. I mean, nobody in the past, ever in the 22 years of the Entrepreneurship Award that has been going on, has ever won the Platinum Award the first year of application. And ours was the first ever to get the Platinum Award in the first year. So
that must have been a rare feeling of and teamwork and family and all of that coming together.
Because what people don't understand, and you and I had this chat earlier on, Shan, where when you run a company like we do and you start something from nothing, your family has to sacrifice a lot. Time is scarce. You work late hours. You travel a lot. And
there is no time, actually. There is no time scale.
There is none. Whether it's at 1 a.m, you got to still do what you have to do. So when you have all those sacrifices you've made, and you have a team putting up a great proposal out, and you have that recognition, it means a lot. It means a lot for the team. It means a lot to the family, and certainly to me personally.
It justifies the investment in
correct
human beings as well.
Yes, true.
Because it is that combination that you were telling me earlier about teamwork.
Yes.
Investing is one aspect, but then investing in the right people.
Correct.
Because this is a people-driven business.
Of course.
And you're an expert marketeer, having grown up with the people business.
Yeah.
And here we are now. Fabulous.
Thank you. 700 people now on the team. People who run my operations in Bangladesh, 15 years ago, were basic executives at Jet. Just come into the company maybe 4 or 5 years before, at very junior levels. Today they are general manager level in Bangladesh and rocking that market. In Bangladesh, no furniture manufacturer talks about success without talking about Jet.
Really?
That's the the contribution we made to the furniture industry in Bangladesh. When I went in 15 years ago personally, they didn't use a spray gun. They were using a WAD, with the cloth kind of manual polish kind of finish. That's all they had. They could, because of that, use only solid wood. So therefore, their capacity to grow was very limited, and we have taken them from there to 2-pack polyurethane finishers, water-based finishers, UV coatings, which not even many Sri Lankan companies have. And today they are booming. I thankfully make more money in Bangladesh than I actually make in Sri Lanka today.
Which is a wonderful, proud fact to have.
Yeah.
And must be also for the people in Bangladesh themselves and the Sri Lankans who are working with us. All of these things combine to make you a very strong regional player now.
Yes.
How does that feel?
That feels fantastic, because wherever in this part of the world you travel, particularly with the brand we built with cricket in particular, we're well known in the subcontinent.
Cricket is huge.
Yeah, it's huge in the subcontinent, and we back cricket. We've been doing it for the last 5 years. So with that, our brand has expanded and is more recognized. So in India, you talk about Jet on the lines of them talking about like a brand like Hero, because that's all they know about it. It's what they see on TV with cricket and stuff like that. So we've really, there was a survey done recently by another independent private company in Sri Lanka, or public company in Sri Lanka, and they found that amongst with Dilma and one other brand, Jet was the third biggest international brand we have in the country.
The recall,
Yeah,
fabulous.
the recall. Yeah. So it's been a great run for the company, for us personally. To see the hard work paying off, and the fact that we also run it in a very ethical manner, Sean. That's another great plus, because it's not like making money only, it's also giving back to where it's required, and running it in a 100% ethical manner that has made us possible for us to sort of go public if we want any day.
Which is fabulous. Now, the brand, like you said, and cricket and this association with sport is very real.
Yes.
And you have believed in that from day dot.
Yeah.
And like you said, in India, the recall is massive.
Yes.
And I rather think more Sri Lankan companies should take that example and believe in the Sri Lankan brand and then push that stronger.
Yeah.
But it is the future, though. It really is. I mean, if you look at television and the media and the social media and all the platforms now that we never had, the mobile phone is now part of our umbilical system.
Absolutely.
We grew up without us.
No.
No such thing. But the brand strength.
Yes.
But you have always been the brand strength, though.
Yeah, I like to believe that as well. In India in particular, you have to have a personality behind the brand. In Sri Lanka, you know how it is, the sportsman in Sri Lanka, we don't have that sort of hero worship kind of mentality in Sri Lanka. But in India, you have to have a hero behind every brand. And there, when we go for exhibitions and all, it's a big picture of me. It's almost embarrassing, but that's how
big
things.
Pullouts.
Yeah. It's always, but it's the way they do it. So here I've been also certainly the brand. So everybody associates Jet with Aelian, and that has certainly has been a great association because of how we've also been ethical and managed our lifestyle and all that. So it helps when you balance it off to grow the brand with us.
Well, I was going to say that. I mean, Aelian, Gunawardene, Jat Holdings, Jat Aelian is one.
Yeah.
The association is very, very strong.
True.
And the recall is massive. I mean, my club, the CH, now have a big Jat and the crown board and stuff.
Yes.
Now I use them as markers.
Yeah.
So you run to Jat, from Jat you run to crown. So one of those things. But I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
And I know you're very humble about it, but to have that sort of iconic status in India is massive.
Yes.
I don't think people here quite understand. I think the sports people understand, and the cricketers especially.
Yes, certainly.
But how does that feel, though, having been able to achieve all that quietly?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. It's really humbling, and it feels great to have that recognition in certainly abroad, certainly in Sri Lanka too. To be recognized as one of the game changers as the program goes. And as long as you keep your head in the right place and don't lose it, I see that in the words of Frank Sinatra, the best is yet to come. Because so many things we've just got into. And you look at where we're now bringing Dutch heifers, cows from the Netherlands. We're into solar, where today signing an agreement with a Malaysian party. The Prime Minister's parties are here. We're signing a $650 million project with them in front of the President. So there's so many things happening. We're into the agriculture industry. So much happening with the company, and things are just changing every day. But you got to still, understand that there has to be a balance in how you manage your time. Working out really helps. Otherwise, you could just get burnt out very fast.
Well, you believe in that. I mean, being fit enough is an important aspect of it.
Absolutely. You can't. I don't think there's anything that can precede being fit. You got to have the energy, the mental sharpness, and the self-belief, and have that feel-good sort of feeling. When you go out there and get up in the morning and really feel good about yourself, because Otherwise, it could get to you. You know, if with everything that we're doing, it can get to you if you don't keep yourself mentally and physically fit.
True, because the stress and the tension and other levels that you have to learn to deal with.
Sure.
And if you're fit, I think you can cope with it a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
The balance between all of that comes from within, of course.
Yes.
But family man, corporate, managing director, international business traveler, all of that, how does that sit?
Yeah, that's quite cool, because one thing I don't do ever in Sri Lanka is ever go to a cocktail if you know, my partner is not invited. Yeah, I would.
That's the rule.
That's the rule.
Good.
So that's good in a way, because you can then cut it down to 1 or 2 a week. Then every day.
It has its good side as well.
Yeah. So that's one thing. So whenever I travel, Shan, we travel together. So we don't unless it's a one-day, you know, trip out to the Maldives for a signing of a deal or whatever.
So it's a team effort.
Yeah, it's a team effort. So we spend a lot of time together. The kids and I, we take 2 holidays a year. So we spend a lot of time like that. We try at least twice a week to have dinner together, because I mean the kids are old as well, you know, so they have their own life, and if we can meet twice a week for dinner, it'll be really nice, you know.
It's a different way though, because they think very differently.
Yes.
Kids nowadays have their own beliefs. And
absolutely, but these guys are really nice. I'm blessed with the children I have. My eldest is 28. She's just flying down on the 23rd of this month. She's married, and she lives unfortunately in Australia, in Perth, because her husband is Aussie, and he's doing a really nice job there, and he doesn't want to make the switch. But she's not stopped trying to convince him to come
She won't
down.
stop either.
No, she would not. So we spend a lot of time. I was in Perth with my younger daughter just last week for a father-daughter dance. She's only 12, and you know, their Christmas get-togethers and a Christmas party and their graduation. So I would never miss any event with the children. So that is a priority that I put on myself.
So that balance is critical to your existence, or your coexistence.
Yes.
And it is that strength, it is that belief, it is that hard work element.
Yes.
But it also is the pride as a Sri Lankan.
Yes.
Being able to do all of this.
Correct.
From the pretty much the basis of your own home.
Yes.
Which is what you do.
Yes.
And if you live in a space like this, I can understand why that would be very special. But more importantly, Aelian Gunawardene taking that important step for Sri Lanka now. You talked about looking at beyond the Sri Lankan boundary, and I think the future is there.
Yes.
As Hong Kong was to China,
Yes.
I think Sri Lanka can be to India and the surrounds.
Sure.
It's something that you are looking forward to?
I am, because, you know, we are, as Sri Lankans, in a very fortunate place, and most Sri Lankans who have gone out of the country to run businesses in this part of the world, whether it be Myanmar or Pakistan or Bangladesh, will tell you that the acceptance we have as Sri Lankans in any of those countries is fantastic. Not very many other South Asian, you know, countries have that acceptance, or, you know,
Sure.
that bond between the two
Historically
countries.
as well.
Yes, historically as well. So for us to go to Pakistan, we have no issues. You know, for us to go to Bangladesh, we have no issues. Whereas Indian to Pakistan, or Pakistani to India, they have issues, and so on. You know, so we are actually, people in Sri Lanka are not using this opportunity
enough.
we have. Yeah, not using it enough. I can't think of more than maybe 10 companies who have really capitalized on the fact that we are strategically so well placed in the subcontinent, and we have this beautiful bond with each of these countries. You know, like yesterday I was with the trade minister from Malaysia at a high tea. You know, and he was talking about how few companies, Sri Lankan companies, are doing business in Malaysia when the opportunities are great there. We don't technically, you know, because of the bureaucracy in Sri Lanka, things with the public sector unfortunately doesn't work as fast as it should. So
we're looking in rather than looking out.
Yeah. So what happens is, if we if we actually if some of our companies look at doing some of these high-end projects out of the country, it's a lot easier because you do things on merit in those countries and not because you know somebody, you know. But we are not using or utilizing this opportunity we have, Shan.
So you believe we need to look further afield?
Further afield, yeah.
It's been staggering talking with you, and I could sit here all day and then spend some time in the pool afterwards and have a little Barbie and then play some basketball and sort it out. Unfortunately, it has to come to an end.
But you're welcome to do that any day.
We'll take you up on that one. Yeah. Aelian Gunawardene has always been an impressive man in more sense than one. He's cut a rug in every sense of the word. But as yourself, what would you advise young entrepreneurs to believe in themselves more, to push harder, to be healthy and wealthy, or just to look at what they can take forward? As a Sri Lankan, for example, you have achieved beyond their wildest imaginations.
Yeah. Like I said, at least 3 guys talk to me every week. And one thing I always believe in is it's not about your product, you know, because a lot of them have ideas and they come to me with an idea. And some of them are fantastic ideas. But is there a market for it? Or isn't there a market for it? Are we too early? Have we missed the bus, as it were? So if you have a good product with a demand for that product, I would back that anytime, and I would think that any young entrepreneur should back themselves to start a business if they have a good product for which there is a demand. And our guys are brilliant. Some of the young guys who talk to me, really good. I've gone into IT. I've gone into agriculture, like I said. So many beautiful things you can do in this country and beyond. But it's about certainly believing in yourself, willing to put the hard, time and effort. Yeah, hard yards. It's extremely important. You cannot, nothing, particularly when you start off, it doesn't come out as easy as it comes maybe to us now, because the base is all set. But you have to, because you can't naturally start and hire 100 people overnight, right? You got to do it yourself, believe in it yourself, put in the effort, and if you have a product with a market, there's no reason you can't succeed. Because in Sri Lanka, there are, while sometimes the banks might not support you as a start if you don't have the right backing or the right security to back you, there are a lot of us people who have started as entrepreneurs, who have run successful businesses, who are willing to put money behind startups.
Good ideas.
Yes.
Fabulous. It has been, I'm trying to think of words that would make and match this wonderful conversation and the time spent here in Baramulla. But it comes down to the man himself and what he has done and what you've achieved. It just shows, for me personally, having known you for a very long time, that if you are willing to believe in yourself, work hard,
yes,
and not give up,
yeah,
everything is possible.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you, Shan. It's such a pleasure seeing you again and chat.
thank you very much indeed. It's been, yes, we should do that.
Yes.
And we will come back and on Game Changers, we'll be back again to try and
have a chat when
a little bit more.
when this new deal of the solar really kicks in. So we have a short time frame to really get into this and even do the waste to energy projects and all that are up there to be taken on. And once that really gets going by the end of the year, maybe next year, it might be a good time to have another chat.
Absolutely. On Game Changers, you heard it here. The $650 million facility was discussed and it's been signed. Fabulous. Sri Lankans on the way up.